dumped before Valentine's Day, so. It's 11:09 p.m. on February 13th, less than an hour until Valentine's Day, and my boyfriend of 7 years, who I had big plans with for tomorrow, just texted me out of nowhere and said our relationship is over. No explanation, nothing. Then he blocked my number and all social media accounts. Needless to say, I'm super confused and completely devastated. How am I supposed to survive Valentine's Day? It's always been our day. We've always done something big and extravagant, because Valentine's Day is our anniversary, and I just feel crushed. Some people have suggested I have a girls' night, but I don't have really any friends that live near me, and I really don't want to have a night to myself. It just feels so cold and lonely. Any advice? Edit. Forgot to mention, not that it's super important to this specific situation, but him and I have a 2-year-old son together. So it's not just me that this is going to affect, it's going to impact our son's life too. Edit 2. A lot of people are asking our ages and why we don't live together. I'm 20 years old, he's 22 years old, and we don't live together because we were given an eviction notice a few days before Christmas telling us we had to vacate the premises by January 1st. It was such short notice, and right at Christmas time, we had absolutely no money for a new apartment, so we moved in with my parents. He lasted about 2 weeks in my parents' house before deciding he couldn't live with them. He said it made him feel uncomfortable, so he moved back home with his family, almost 2 hours away from me and our son. Edit 3. My son was only in this post, so people could understand that I'm not just being a whiny bitch because I got dumped. I'm upset because he not only walked out on me without any explanation, but he did the same to his kid. And please stop giving me shit for having a kid at 18. That was my decision, not yours. Oh, and just so you assholes that were harassing me for getting evicted, no, we didn't get evicted for not paying our rent. We got evicted because he invited friends over and they were smoking weed in the apartment whenever my son and I weren't around. We live in New York, where weed isn't legal, so honestly he's lucky we only got evicted and he didn't end up in jail or worse, we lose our kid. So I'm not irresponsible for spending money on a trip months ago and getting evicted. Found out my girlfriend, 31F, was hooking up with someone before I, 27M, made it official, but after we said we were exclusive. Hired it. I've opened Pandora's box and I wish to God I hadn't. That might seem a bit melodramatic of a statement for the situation I'm in, but ignorance is truly bliss. My girlfriend and I started going on dates as of February 2023 and decided to be exclusive, not sleep with anyone else, around May 2023, primarily for reasons of sexual safety. We took things very slow, 1 date a week, but we were seeing each other 2 to 4 times a week by the start of summer, not putting a tittle label to our relationship other than that we told people we were actively dating. By August, I had started planning a road trip for late September, which would have been our first trip together. I ended up asking her to be my girlfriend on that trip, and, a few days later, telling her that I loved her, which she was not expecting. Perhaps I was more in love with her than she with me at that time. That's not to say she didn't have some feelings for me, but as the months went on, our love for each other grew, and I could tell her heart was mine and mine was hers. I probably cold asked her out earlier in the summer and she agreed, but, since we worked together, things were a little more complicated. That being said, we still told each other we weren't seeing other people. October 15th, 2023 was the first sign of something amiss. I saw a text she sent on her phone that said millimeters too bad to man, named Josh after she went to an event. I give it little thought till a couple months ago when she mentioned Josh during a car ride. We were talking about past partners, and it was clear as day she admired him for many reasons. Good looking dude, helped the community, etc. And she told me they had hooked up in the past. I did ask why they never ended up together. She told me the timing was never right and she desired more in bed. Yesterday was when my heart sank like the Titanic. I did something I should not have. I looked through her texts to see what she texted Josh on October 15th. She messaged Josh that she wanted to make out and dance with him at the event, but for whatever reason, they didn't meet up. Probably she was teasing him as some of our friends were around. Mind you, this is after I asked her to be my girlfriend and told her I love her. I also found out that they had hooked up multiple times between April and August, sending each other sexy messages, which sent me down an emotional spiral. On October 29, 2023, Josh texted her if she wanted to hang, but my girlfriend replied that she was seeing someone. He seemed happy for her. They have not had contact since. I know I betrayed her trust by looking through her phone. That was not cool at all. But this newfound knowledge is eating away at me obviously, as it's super fresh. I would not have such an issue with her seeing other guys while we were dating if we didn't put the exclusive tag on our relationship. This Valentine's Day, she wrote me this heartfelt card about how much I mean to her, how the greatest gifts I could give to her was seeing her as an equal partner without double standards or stipulations, and my endless patience and affection. I keep reading and reading and reading the card, hoping I can forget about her and Josh. It really does feel like our relationship has deepened the past few months. I can tell she is fully dedicated to me now. Maybe I'm a total idiot. You tell me. I could use a sober perspective. Do I bring this up to her? How should I do that? Or, if I can let it go, should I just forgive and forget? Help me, Reddit. My heart is momentarily in your hands. Sincerely, a sad dude. I don't know if they hooked up in October, but they did August 8th. I have the evidence. Just found out my 19F, BF, 21M, slept with a girl who's in love with him the night he met me. Hi all. I met my BF Jake 6 months ago at a club. Haha, remember clubs and crowded places? We were both with groups of our friends. His group included a girl named Anne. Jake and I hung out that night and clicked immediately. We danced, we talked and flirted, and at the end of the night he asked me to go home with him. But I don't enjoy sex with people I don't know, so I told him I'd like to get to know him more on a date. We went out, and things have been great so far except for one roadblock. Our friend groups have started to integrate, so I spend a lot of time with his friends. Anne has liked him for a long time, as one of Jake's friends told me about 2 weeks into the relationship, and when I asked him if this is true, he said yes, but he finds her to be annoying and has never liked her back. I really hate being a jealous girlfriend stereotype, so I wanted to leave it at that, but I have to bring up when things bother me. When Jake and I got serious, I told him that I wasn't comfortable with him hanging out with Anne alone, because her crush can be obvious at times, with the way she looks at him, talks to him, and tries to touch him. He said okay, but there have been a couple times where he has just hung out with her anyways without telling me and bringing it up later. He gives reasons, like they had the same class and needed to study together, or someone else was going to come but cancelled, or no one else was free and he bored. I've tried to tell Jake that I'm not trying to be controlling or anything, but I've been the girl with an unrequited crush, and every time you hang out with them, you think of it as another shot to win the person over. I don't care if she's there during group hangouts, but it makes my heart hurt to think of her having these very strong feelings for him and being with him alone. Oh, and a few weeks ago she was apparently crying over him not wanting to be with her, so this is a big deal for her. Jake said he's not going to do anything, and they don't even hang out that often, so I shouldn't worry. Well, now that Corona is happening, they obviously are not hanging out, but Anne came up in conversation over FaceTime with Jake, and he said he thought she would just be over him by now, and I asked if there was any reason she might think he had feelings for her back. I really tried to not ask this as in an accusatory way, I swear. He said no at first, then said well, and didn't finish his sentence. I pressured him into saying what he was about to say, and he admitted that they did have sex once. I asked when this happened. He said around October. I asked if this was before we met or after. He said technically after, and then said that it was actually the night we met. So I was really upset when I heard all this. First of all, I think he should have told me that he had hooked up with Anne before, because she's in his friend circle, and I just think you should tell your so if you're still friends with someone you've had sexual relationships with. His defense was that I never asked, and I've said I don't think sexual history should matter in a relationship, which I guess is a good point. The second reason I'm upset about this is because things from Anne's point of view make a little bit more sense now. We've never really liked each other for obvious reasons, but she has never been mean to me, and I think she's probably a nice person. She has never outwardly confessed her feelings towards Jake, even though she tells everyone else, and it is fairly easy to tell she likes him, and Jake has never said anything about knowing she has feelings for him. Now, it's one thing to like a guy and have him dodge your advantages and never mention it, but it's kind of another to like a guy, have sex with him, and then have him never mention it again and start dating someone else. I asked Jake if he knew Anne liked him at this point, and he said yes, but he didn't think it was that serious. Things just don't sit right with me. Jake said he met me, he liked me, but ultimately he didn't know me or have a commitment to me, and I didn't want to sleep with him that night, so he went for something meaningless. That's fair, I guess, but he knew Anne liked him, and after getting rejected by the girl he had been trying to hook up with all night, he went with someone he knew he could get easily, because he was horny, I guess. It just seems a bit sleazy, I guess. My reason for comment to this subreddit is that should I be upset over this, or am I making a big deal out of something that happened a while ago? Is there something that can be done to make me feel better? Because he asked what he can do, and I have no idea. I, 25M, told my girlfriend, 22F, she's hotter with her shirt off. How do I apologize or make things right? Update. Holy shit, this blew up. Did not expect this to attract so much attention. So based on the majority of comments on this post, I've realized that there is probably something deeper at play here that caused her to react the way she did. Yes, this should have been taken as a compliment. And yes, she is lazy in regards to it being a hassle to take her shirt off. I FaceTimed her this and apologized again to her and tried to talk to her about why this bothered her so much but she wasn't having it and said she would talk to me later, which is pretty childish, you know. So in the end, I do feel bad for upsetting her. I just don't think it's fair to be mad at me without proper reason or having prior knowledge about her insecurity what bothers her. She'll get over it. First off, yeah, I know, I fucked up. When me and my GF have sex, she typically keeps her shirt on cause it's a hassle to her to take on and off. No big deal. Well, tonight I wanted her to take it off and she was cool with it. Well, during the process of this, I thought it'd be nice to say it's so much hotter with your shirt off, but for some reason or another that bit what came out of my mouth. I said you look so much hotter with your shirt off. This instantly made her pretty mad obviously and promptly stopped us having sex. I feel so terrible right now for saying something like that to her. I want to make it right any way I can. I apologized profusely to her, telling her that's not what I meant to say and not how I think of her. When I told her what I meant to say, she said that's not much better. My question is, I just don't know what to do now. I just dropped her off at home, but she is still angry. I want to make her feel better, but I'm not sure what else to say or do. TLDR. Fucked up. Said my girlfriend looks hotter with her shirt off during sex. Apologized, but I feel terrible and want to make it right but don't know what to say. I, 22F, caught my BF, 23M, doing his thing this morning. I'm not sure if this is allowed or the right place for this, but I feel so low I don't know where else to put it. If it's not the place, just let me know. Anyway, I woke up this morning to the bed shaking just a bit and a quiet smacking noise. This isn't the first time I've woken up to him pleasuring himself, and I don't have any clue how to approach it or if I even should. That being said, it's not the act that has me upset. I'm not the kind that sees it as cheating. It's the fact that I'm literally in the bed with him. I've told him before that I'm okay with him waking me up with kisses and things like that. On top of that, I know that he uses Reddit for his material, if you will, because he told me. I don't even know why I'm upset about this. Maybe it's because I'm insecure and projecting. I've sent him tons of pictures and videos of myself, and he admitted to me once he had forgotten about them. So it hurts me to think that instead of using what I've sent him, he's looking at other girls promoting their on Reddit. No hate to them at all, they have bills to pay. He's now been in the bathroom for 20 minutes and hasn't said anything to me since I woke up. Does anyone have any advice they would throw my way? I'm just really not sure where to go from here.